law, no, Republic Act 9646, professionalizing the practice of real estate in the country. So this law regulates, no, brokerage, appraisal, and consulting. So those people who are licensed with the Professional Regulation Commission can practice these professions as long as they are licensed. Best measurement is the date of the issuance of your PRC ID. PRC is not very strict on the particular experience requirement. They would just check the date that the brokers or the appraiser's ID has been issued. No? That has been the practice. The requirement is you should be a licensed real estate broker in order for you to post properties for sale in social media. That's one, very important. And second, if you're not a licensed broker, at least you're an accredited salesperson. You have to indicate the license number of your broker and as well as your accreditation number. Licensed real estate brokers, it's not easy to be a licensed real estate broker, no. The level of training is almost the same as just like any other profession, like engineers, architects, doctors, lawyers. They have to complete a 4-year degree course.
Hi builders, welcome to ProStock. To those who may be just tuning in today, ProStock is a social corporate responsibility of building. So this is a platform for anyone who builds. Anyone who is interested to know anything about construction, project management, engineering, architecture, and anything about this business, we have a broad network of partners that can provide you with insight and experiences that can help you in the field. So today, we are joined by our special guest, Attorney Ray Cartojana. Hi, Attorney Ray.
Yeah, good afternoon, Philip. Thank you for having me.
Okay, yeah. So before we start, can you introduce yourself to our viewers?
Well, I used to be a practicing lawyer, no. Then I specialize into real estate, so I'm into brokerage, valuation, and consulting. Then just fairly recently, I also engaged in environmental planning.
I've heard that you have 3 licenses, including law, right? So can you share your journey with us about with all your licenses?
I have the 3 professional real estate licenses, no, as broker, then as appraiser, then consultant. Then I have also a professional license as urban or environmental planner. And my 5th license, of course, is the original license, no, is license as attorney or lawyer.
Okay, so for my next question, so how can one become a real estate broker in this state or country?
Well, we have yung law, no, Republic Act 9646, professionalizing the practice of real estate in the country. So this law regulates, no, brokerage, appraisal, and consulting. So those people who are licensed with the Professional Regulation Commission can practice these professions as long as they are licensed, no, with the PRC. And for you to get that license, Philip, no, medyo it's quite a process because you have to take a 4-year degree course in Bachelor of Science in Real Estate Management. Now, 4 years, this is a CHED course. Then after graduating from this BSREM, you'll be taking the board exams, no, either as broker or appraiser. Then if you want to proceed to the highest form of practice in real estate, which is consulting, you need 5 years experience as appraiser and 10 years, no, as broker in order for you to get that to take the licensure exams for consultancy.
I see. So, mahaba-haba rin po pala. So, paano po, sir, kunwari, kunyari ako graduate ng architecture and then I want to be a real estate broker. So, 4 years pa rin po ba yung aaralin ko?
Well, for example, for second coursers like you, no, if you're an architect, I have a lot of students who are architects and engineers and even lawyers or doctors.
Mm-mm.
So normally it will take you only 2 years.
Ah,
No, because that is a second course. You'll be the undergraduate or the first years of studying will be credited. So more or less, you have 2 years to graduate in the Bachelor of Science Real Estate Management. And after that, take the board exams.
I see, I see. So, 2 years na lang plus, kunyari, gusto maging real estate consultant. So, another years pa, 10 years plus yung appraiser.
Yeah, the shortest for you to be a consultant is to pass the board exams for appraiser
Ah, I
because
see.
you need only 5 years experience
Mhm.
in order to be a consultant. So
Okay.
if you analyze to be a real estate consultant, sometimes it's longer than those studying law or even
Mhm.
medicine, no? Because of the
Mhm.
experience requirement, you need 10
Yes.
years na holding period for you to be allowed to take the real estate consultancy board exams.
Mhm. So, paano siya? Meron po bang ano to, number of hours po ba to na ipapa-approve sa PRC? So, paano po yung paano nila nalalaman kung 10 years na or ano man?
Well, the best measurement is the date of the issuance of your PRC ID. No, PRC is not very strict on the particular experience requirement. They would just check the date that the brokers or the appraiser's ID has been issued. No, that has been
Mhm.
the practice. Then
Mhm.
if you are able to accumulate 5 or 10 years, then you'll be allowed to take the consultancy board exams. Of course, together with your diploma, no, graduate of the Bachelor of Science in Real Estate Management.
Oh, I see, I see. Okay, thank you for that information, sir. So, for my next question, what are the potential legal risks and responsibilities for a real estate broker who represent both the buyer and the seller in a transaction?
Under normal circumstances, that is not allowed, no, because you'll
Mhm.
be representing conflicting interests. So the only instance that will be allowed if there's full disclosure, your position, no, or previous engagement as broker for the buyer or for the seller, and both of your clients would agree with full knowledge that you'll be acting as their common broker. Otherwise, you cannot act, no, you cannot be a representative of two interests. So that would be unethical, no, on the part of any broker unless both clients will agree that you'll be the common broker.
Yeah, I see. Okay. Yeah, that's right po. So, next question will be, how should a real estate broker disclose yun nga po, yung potential problems with a property such as environmental hazard or zoning violation? And yung kunyari po, yung mga, siyempre, medyo yung, for example po sa Marikina, may mga fault lines, paano niyo po disclose yun to clients and buyers?
Well, part of the competence requirement, no, as well as the ethical requirement of any broker to disclose to client these possible environmental hazards, because there could be some liability that will be on the broker, assuming that the client proceeded with the acquisition and later learned that there was a hazard, no, or environmental hazard involved. Although the general rule is, as buyers, they should also be doing their own due diligence. But what is unique in what you said is because he's being represented by a broker, and the broker is being paid a handsome fee of 5%. No, that's huge. No, a handsome fee of 5%, and the broker is expected to give more than the normal due diligence that should be necessary under the premises, and that includes full disclosure of these environmental hazards.
Next questions will be, what are the legal implications of using social media and online advertisement for real estate listing?
Yeah, for selling, no, or for listing, the requirement is you should be a licensed real estate broker in order for you to post properties for sale in social media. That's one, very important. And second, if you're not a licensed broker, at least you're an accredited salesperson. You have to indicate the license number of your broker and as well as your accreditation number. But right now, this is still widespread in the social media, but we are monitoring that new Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development are monitoring this down to the regional level and forming task forces, with the PNP, with the professional associations in the provinces, or even the National Capital Region, to take legal actions, against these illegal or colorum practitioners.
I see. Yeah. So in line with this, so for example kasi sa Facebook, so marami, Facebook, kunyari po yung Lamudi and other yung mga real estate na mga platforms. So paano po na-apply to mga to? For example, di naman natin nakikita kung sinong nagpo-post, di natin kilala or di natin alam kung meron silang license. So paano apply yung law dito?
The online platforms are not exempted from compliance with our legal requirement in the Philippines. There could be any different regulatory environment in other countries, but once they are here, in the Philippines, they have warm bodies. They have subscribers or people who are subscribing to their online platform. Then this online platform, as a matter of law, will have to comply with the regulation. Meaning, if they are posting real estate listings, they're not exempt from the requirement. Now, this online platform should engage the services of professional broker. Now, if they're marketing properties, for instance, I saw that. I saw that without naming the platform. They're the one doing the selling. At least they should have an in-house licensed real estate broker. The RESA law, Republic Act 9646, even required developers. These are property developers. They're not online platform. Property developers, for them to sell the real estate listings, they have to secure the services of licensed real estate brokers. So developers cannot by themselves, yung sinasabi nilang in-house, they cannot sell their own projects. That is clear under RESA, and that has been settled by in the Supreme Court case involving CREBA versus PRC, where the Supreme Court said that developers cannot sell their own projects. They have to sell it through licensed real estate brokers because there's a state interest or the public interest involved in ensuring that the public will be protected from buying possibly questionable real estate properties.
Okay, yes. Po, kasi para to be fair naman sa mga licensed broker, right?
Yes, it's not easy to be a licensed real estate broker. The level of training is almost the same as just like any other profession, like engineers, architects, doctors, lawyers. They have to complete a 4-year degree course. And not only that, they have to pass the board exams, and the board exams are not easy to pass. There's a passing hurdle, for the students. Not all students will be licensed real estate brokers, and that is very important because before the passage of this Republic Act 9646, the prevalent situation was there are a lot of buyers who were victimized, by unscrupulous brokers or salespersons. So only the lawyers assumed this problem. There were issues on the acquisition. So if you engage services of licensed real estate brokers, you minimize or totally eradicate these common problems of questionable land acquisitions.
Foreign brokers naman po, syempre, issue rin yan. Hindi lang naman sa brokers, syempre sa mga other professionals like engineers, architects, syempre yung laging nandyan yung mga foreign, Paano dinidil ng law itong mga foreign brokers?
Well, sa real estate, no, I think medyo similar with the other professions. We have the foreign reciprocity clause, which means that foreigners will be allowed to practice real estate here in the Philippines if their country is granting the same privileges to Filipinos to practice real estate. No, parang reciprocity. But so far, the Philippines has not entered into any reciprocity agreement with any country, meaning foreigners, as of now, cannot practice brokerage here in the Philippines. Now, let us just make it clear, even in MOA, no, Mall of Asia area, no, prevalent or widespread practice of Chinese, no, illegal brokers. So that has to be addressed by government because they're depriving legitimate and licensed Filipino real estate brokers from getting these commissions. So I hope government can take action on that, no, on Chinese brokers, especially in the Mall of Asia area. They should engage services of Filipino licensed brokers in order for them to engage in the practice of real estate in the Philippines.
Okay, tama nga po kasi syempre medyo unfair. So, ano talaga, parang syempre yung law, the law is just being fair to all professionals. Syempre, ano na rin yan corporate job na rin talaga yung, serious job na, professionals talaga yung mga brokers. So yung law, so for the viewers, itong law na to is, binibigyan nila ng security yung mga brokers.
Yeah, and also, Philip, very clear, no? They're depriving licensed Filipino brokers of the commissions that should be paid.
Yes.
I heard kasi the commissions are being paid directly to these Chinese na illegal practitioners. So we're saying illegal, no? Openly, Mr. Philip, no? Because nakikita natin no? They have signages dyan, no? Openly, they've been doing a lot of brokerage. So I hope government can do something about that, no? Because they're, as I've said, they're, aside from it's illegal, depriving Filipinos who are licensed real estate brokers from the commissions that are due to them.
Yeah, that's very true. So okay, so for this naman po tayo. So for our next question, so ano yung mga types of insurances that a real broker should carry to protect them against legal claims and liabilities?
Well, so far, that has not been in the mainstream practice, no, in the real estate. But just to answer your question, of course, liability insurance, no, just in case for erroneous or, as we mentioned earlier, non-disclosure of certain environmental hazards that may result in the acquisition of property which should not be acquired. So that could be one possible liability insurance arising from what they call professional negligence. No, that could be, no, or second, due diligence. No, due diligence aspect. Certain standards were not followed, resulting in a loss to client. So far, these are fairly new as far as Philippine practice is concerned. Liability insurance. I haven't heard or seen any of the licensed brokers getting liability insurance so far, no, here in the Philippines.
Okay. Okay. So for second to the last question natin before tayo mag-wrap up, ano po yung mga legal obligation for a real estate broker when dealing with distressed properties such as short sales or foreclosures?
But the most important part there is to conduct legal due diligence. No, because these are properties which underwent some form of distress. No, there could be some claims from the previous owner, and the owners may find it they're disputing the foreclosure. No, so brokers should ensure that their clients in acquiring these foreclosed properties are shielded from possible claims by previous owners.
Okay, sir. So follow-up questions. paano naman yung mga properties? Paano nyo dinideal yung mga properties na nagkaroon na ng mga informal settlers na syempre hindi naman natin maiwasan yung mga properties na matagal nang hindi na occupy and then at some point nagkakaroon ng mga informal settlers.
Well, you need a very skillful broker or even a consultant to do that, no? Because it entails a lot of professional work to clear the area of informal settlers. The legal remedy is only one of the remedies involved. So the level of competence, I think it's better to engage services of a professional licensed real estate consultant to navigate, no, on those issues, because you have the issue of possession, you have the issue of compliance with the Urban and Development Housing Act, UDHA law, no, because even if we consider them as informal settlers or the common lingo squatters, they have certain rights also, no, and you have to comply also with the provisions of the law with respect to the right of the owner, no, of the property. So you have to ensure that all these actions are synchronized, no, with the end view of transferring these informal settlers, but also ensuring the interest of your client. If your client is the landowner, or if your client is the buyer, ensuring also that your client as the buyer is fully protected from all these legal claims.
Yes, very useful information po yan. And then, as far as I know po, so, for example, merong mga informal settlers sa iyong property, so for the viewers, parang responsibility rin po ng before, hindi natin sila pwedeng patalsikin lang basta-basta yun. Kailangan mo silang i-relocate before you clear the area, before patalsikin sila sa area na yun.
Yeah, yung conventional solution is just to sue them, no? But the legal action may not be the best action because it will take time. It will just enrich the lawyers.
Yeah.
It will not be to your advantage because time is sometimes, no, or most of the time, more expensive than money. So you have to consider all these considerations. So you have to, if the property has been littered, no, with the informal settlers, then you need a very good professional consultant, no, aside from a lawyer, no, to address these issues, because the issue on relocating them will also pose some financial burden, no, on your part. So all these things, then together with the interest of the prospective buyer, you'll have to consider also.
Okay, so thank you so much for that information, attorney. So before we wrap everything up, can you encourage yung mga, syempre, everyone who wants to practice brokerage na to be a licensed real estate broker para kumbaga, practice nila yung full potential and yung makuha nila yung full benefits?
Yes, no, for those na in their high school or senior high school, one career that you may consider is real estate profession, no? So you can have a full-time job as a real estate broker or appraiser or later as a consultant. And for those of you na who are already in your first course, no, there are also a lot of students taking BSREM as a second course for them to earn additional income. Real estate can be an additional source of revenue or sideline. No, just like me, I started real estate as a sideline because my main line before as a profession was a lawyer, and eventually I specialized into real estate. So you may also consider, no, making real estate as one of your sidelines, because as a sideline, it could turn out to be your main line, no, after several years, because eventually, in my opinion, no, nothing is more stable than real estate, no, as a form of asset.
Okay. So, attorney, so thank you so much sa mga informations na pinrovide nyo sa amin. And then, if for example, yung mga viewers natin na gustong mag-seek ng advice nyo or mag-consult sa inyo, so how can they reach you?
Well, I have a Facebook page, no? Attorney Ray Cartuhano. Then there's my professional license, no? ENP, REC, REA, at saka REB. So that's my official Facebook page. But I'm also starting my YouTube channel, no? Giving some opinions, advice on real estate, as well as helping spread real estate education. So just my name, you just type my name in the same also with my Facebook page, no? I just launched my YouTube channel to help spread real estate education online.
Okay, attorneys, that's very useful sa mga natin, sa mga kabataan, syempre. It will give them interest. And then, actually, naka-subscribe ako sa inyo. Okay, sir.
Thank you,
So,
no? Thank you. So it's just very raw, no? I'm just experimenting with that platform, but eventually, with with additional subscribers, probably I'll be improving, no, on that platform also.
Okay, yeah. Hoping for the best sa area na yan. So, once again, thank you so much, attorney, for guesting in our Pro Stock. So, once again, to our viewers, stay tuned for more Pro Stock episodes on Buildy TV.